Have you ever wondered how many songs are recorded in the Tanakh? Have you ever wondered where Eliyahu appears in the Tanakh? Have you ever remembered a word in a verse but could not remember the rest of the verse? Look no further. The Concordance has the answer to these problems. What is a concordance? A Tanakh concordance can be an amazing tool for studying the Tanakh. A concordance contains an alphabetical index of words used in the Tanakh and the main Tanakh references where the word occurs. A concordance is useful in locating passages in the Tanakh. If you can remember just one word in a verse, you can often find what you're looking for. There are a few editions of printed book concordances, such as the Evan Shushan. You can probably find it in many Jewish bookstores. In this short clip, we will be demonstrating how to use an online concordance. It can be a very powerful tool, especially if you are aware of the pitfalls. So let's get started. Let's begin by looking at the link at the top. mechonmamre.org/search fh.htm. Now let's take a look at the search bar. You can enter any word that you think would appear in the Tanakh. Make sure to switch the menu to Tanakh Ivri Angli. This way, you will only be searching the Tanakh and not other rabbinic sources on this website. Let's begin by pretending that we wanted to remember a verse from the song that the Israelites sung at Yam Suf. Unfortunately, we only remember the words Markevot Paro. If we want, we can put this in quotation marks so that these two words will appear next to each other in whatever results that we find. Tanakh Ivri Angli, make sure it's on that setting and click Chapes. And here we go. These words appear in Shmot, Exodus 15 Tet Vav, and Pasuk Dalid. So if we click on it, we can find the full context of the verse. Markevot Paro v'chelo yarav hayam umivchar shel yishav tug'u b'yam suf. And here's Markevot Paro. There we go. So that's the first example. Isn't that cool? Now let's move on to another example. If we want to go back to the search engine, we can just hit go over here. And let's pretend now that we are researching how many songs there are in the Tanakh. So I'm going to start by putting in the word shira, which is Hebrew for song. And we want to search in Tanakh Ivri Angli. And here we go. We have only one result. And actually, it is not the word shira. If you look closely, it's actually the word shiro. This is kind of strange because we know that there are many, many more songs in the Tanakh. Aside from this one reference in the book of Tehillim. And what we're going to do is that we're going to be looking, we have to look for the exact word. Now this is where one of the pitfalls of the concordance. In a book concordance, we would be able to search the shoresh, or the Hebrew root word of the word that we're searching for, and it would show us any conjugation of that root word. But in this version, in the online version, we have to search almost exactly for the word that we're looking for. So let me type in Hashira. And if we search in the Tanakh, we are going to find many more examples. There is in the end of Devarim, in Perek Lamed Aleph, just before Shirat Ha'azinu. We have here in Tehillim, we have here Shirat Hayam, the song at the Yam Suf. We have in the end of Sefer Shmuel, David HaMelech sings the song. We have Shirat HaBe'er in Bamidbar. And in Devarim, again, this is again in the context of Ha'azinu at the end of Devarim. So here is an example of how if we type in exactly what we want, then we can definitely get the results that we want. There is another song, but again, we'd have to type in exactly the words that we're looking for. It begins with the words Vatashar, and she sang. And that is, of course, in Shoftim, the song of Devorah. Okay, so now let's try one last example. Let's say we wanted to know where Eliyahu appeared in the Tanakh. Eliyahu is also known as Eliyah. And what we're going to do actually is put an asterisk at the end. This asterisk, here it explains to us, here are the different rules. If we're looking for any suffix, so we could have it ending with a vav, but we also could not. It could be any suffix, so you can put in an asterisk to connote that. Again, we're going to be looking only in the Tanakh Ivri Angli, and hit Chapes. And here at the beginning, we find all sorts of references to Eliyahu, and we can see it's heavily concentrated in Melachim. Unfortunately, the word Eliyah is spelt here without nekudot. There are no options to include vowel sounds. So it's just Aleph Lamed Yud Hey with no vowel sounds. Now this can be a problem because the word Eleha is also spelt Aleph Lamed Yud Hey, and it does not mean Eliyahu, it means to her. Since we included the asterisk, so there can be any suffix, so it could also be Elehem. So there are all sorts of different interesting suffixes to this that are actually not at all connected to Eliyahu. So this is another pitfall of the online concordance, that it can conjugate the word in any way and it doesn't give the user the ability to specify exactly which meaning we want. Now, nevertheless, we can see that it appears in Melachim, and if we search all the way to the end, we will find another reference to Eliyahu, which is in the book of Malachi. And here, right at the end of the book of Malachi, we have the word Eliyahu Hanavi. He's referenced again. So this is another way that we can find where he's referenced. So as you can see, using the concordance is a very powerful tool when learning Tanakh. It helps us make connections between books, chapters, and verses of the Tanakh in a very interesting way. It comes in a book form where you can research the root words and names, or an online form where you have to know the specific conjugation of the word that you're looking for. Either way, once you know how to navigate the Tanakh using a concordance, your Tanakh studying will be brought to a whole new level. Enjoy!